Hey, this is AJ. Welcome back to the Handyman process. This channel is dedicated to teaching handymen and handy women that have their own businesses some tips and tricks on how to run the business. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something I haven't talked about before, and I haven't done before, but I've been experimenting with for a couple of months now, and I'm comfortable recommending it with one caveat, is that if you are good with managing money, please watch the rest of this video. If you're not good, if you're in debt, please don't watch this video. It's not for you yet. But for those who do manage their money well and can manage credit cards strategically, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I use my handyman business and travel hacking with credit cards kind of simultaneously to help pay for some of my vacations. Stay tuned. Okay, so before I get into it, let me talk a little bit about my background and my experience. Several months ago, I made a video about how to run a lean handyman and how to do it debt-free. So I've been running both personally and professionally debt-free since personally for over 10 years. And then from a business from day one, following kind of the Dave Ramsey approach. But recently I've had a little bit of a change of heart after doing a little bit diving into travel hacking. And there's a ton of resources out there on travel hacking. I would recommend, going to other groups to kind of learn a little bit about what that is. But in a nutshell, it's using the sign-up bonuses that come with some of these credit cards, both business and personal, to gather points and to use those points to apply towards travel benefits or cash back. You can get cash back if that's your thing, but you can really get a lot more value out of it if you turn those points into travel rewards. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey, how I got into this, and what I do right now in my handyman business, and how I leverage some of this strategy to help pay for personal vacations, which I think is pretty cool. So I got a bunch of stuff lined up, vacation-wise, lined up over the next year. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm doing that and how I'm using the handyman business to do it. So first of all, I mentioned, prior to this, I was doing everything with a debit card. And then I had a change of heart, right? And I learned a few things. So I personally started off with a personal credit card. And if you're new to this game, and if you do a lot of research, you'll find out that the Chase credit cards are probably the most preferred credit cards to kind of get your feet wet. Specifically the Chase Preferred and Chase Reserve. And I'll try to put some links in here to some resources that talk a little bit about that. But this is a personal card, and if you sign up for, at least when I did, you would get 60,000 ultimate reward points, which are worth $600 in cash or up to like $900 in travel perks. So if you get this card, automatically you meet a spending limit. I think in that case it was spend $3,000 or $4,000 in 3 months. You get the points and you can start using the points. So I had done that last year. I signed up for the card. I got the points. And then I ended up taking a vacation up to New Jersey and Maine and used those points primarily to pay for the flight tickets for my family up there. I didn't know at the time, but I could have referred my wife to a card, which she ultimately did get a card, but I didn't refer her to it. So she ended up getting a card, getting 60,000 points. We also applied that towards hotels. But if I had referred her, I would have gotten an additional like 10,000 points. So that's point number one is, once you kind of get the ball rolling, you can refer, you can do what they call two-player mode and refer people back and forth within your household so that, every time you refer somebody, they get points and it goes on and on and on. Again, a lot more detail into travel hacking if you do some research on that. But that was my first step into it, right? We jumped in with the personal credit cards. I saw the benefit of that. I was like, man, wow, we just saved, at least $1,500 just by using credit cards for normal things that we spend money on anyway, right? Buying groceries, paying utility bills, so on and so on. But I was still hesitant, right? I can't say I'm a diehard Dave Ramsey believer anymore, but at the time I was like very deep into that, right? And then I started thinking, well, I got the money in the bank. We're still disciplined. I'm not taking money I don't have and buying these things. And that's my number one caution, right? If you don't have the money in the bank to purchase or pay off whatever you're purchasing, do not do what I'm telling you what I'm doing, right? Because you're just going to end up with 20-something% interest rates and you're going to be in a bad spot. Only do this if you can pay off the bills every month. So let's fast forward a little bit, right? So I start with the personal card. I get a taste of it. I'm like, man, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty good. Then I start finding out about the Chase business cards, right? So they have these business cards, ink business cards. And maybe you've been doing this for a while, like, man, everybody knows this, right? Well, I didn't know this, right? And if you're new and you're watching this, or you've been a debt-free guy like I am, you're like, nah, I'm tuning them out right now. I'm not interested in this. Let me tell you a little bit about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. It may change your mind. And if you don't want to do it, that's so be it. But if you're trying to plan a decent vacation for your family and you want a little bit of help with that, and if you're spending a lot of money in your handyman business anyway, what the tactics I'm going to show you can essentially pay for trips. So we're going to Alaska this summer. We're taking a cruise. We're going to head up to Alaska. The majority of this trip is going to be paid through points that I've used through the handyman business. So let me tell you how I do it, right? So the first thing I do is I had gotten a referral link, and I got a referral to a Chase business card, a Chase Ink business card. So when you apply for that, if you're a sole proprietor or sole or single member LLC, you can apply either with your social security number or with your EIN. Doesn't really matter. In my case, I just applied with my social security number, applied for the business card, put my business name in there, and was kind of instantly approved. Great news, right? So the first card that I'm recommending that you try out and get is the Chase Ink Cash Card. And I'll put links, I'll put a referral link down in the video description. If you want to use my link, so be it. If you got somebody else in your family that already has these cards and you want to give back to them, then go ahead and ask them for a referral link. Because if you use the link that I give you, I'm going to get some points in my account. If you use a link that somebody else gives you, they'll get the points. So give the points to whoever you want to give them to. But the point is, currently with that card, if you sign up, you'll get 75,000 ultimate reward points. And that's worth, if you were to cash it out, it's worth $750. If you were to use it towards travel, it could be 25% more than that, 50% more than that. Again, there's a whole world on how to use these points. If you wanted to spend a week in a resort in Hyatt, you could easily do that probably with just that amount of points, the 75,000 points that you get up front. In order to get the 75,000 points, they're currently running a special that you have to spend $6,000 in either 3 months or 6 months. These things change frequently. When I signed up, it was spend $6,000 in 3 months and you're good to go. But let me go a little further into that, right? So where you spend the money with these credit cards, you also get points for every dollar that you spend, and there's multiples of those points. So what I had learned, and I forgot where I learned this, but if I had gone and specifically with the Chase Business Ink card or Chase Business Ink Cash card that I'm recommending, if you spend money at an office store like Office Max or Office Depot or Staples or whatever you shop at, any dollar that you spend in that store is worth it's 5 times the points, right? So let's say you spend $6,000, the amount of money you have to spend to qualify for the sign-up bonus, then you basically multiply that by 5, right? So you end up with 30,000 additional points, or the equivalent of $300. So after diving into that, I was like, let me see. I shop at Lowe's all the time, right? And I'm usually using my debit card and tracking stuff out. And Lowe's reward program sucks, right? I'm not getting anything really back for them. If I'm lucky, I'll get a free drink after I spend $1,000. But then I realized, well, wait a minute. I can go to one of these office stores and I can buy a Lowe's gift card, right? In whatever amount that I want. I think it's like up to $250, right? So I experimented with it, right? I bought a couple of Lowe's gift cards, and Lowe's has actually updated their app. So I can take this gift card, I can put it into my app, and now when I go to the store, I can just hit a button, I can scan my phone, and it'll automatically understand how much I have in my gift card account. It'll take it out, it'll automatically send my receipt to my account. So now, man, I got 5x back on the money I spent at Lowe's. So what did I do? I went and I, over that 3-month period, spent $6,000 in Lowe's gift cards, put them back into my account, got the 5x on that. So I ended up with 75,000 points plus another $300 worth of points just by spending money I'm going to spend anyway. So I have $1,050 of cash back, or I could spend that money and almost double it or triple it on travel rewards. In addition to that, if you're like, man, I can't spend that much money at Lowe's, right? My handyman business isn't doing that kind of stuff. The other thing you could do is get a Visa gift card. I recommend you only get these when they're on sale. And what I mean by sale is This is a $100 gift card. And they normally charge you like $5.95 to buy them. But about once or twice a month, they have a sale where they basically essentially waive the majority of that fee, right? It's only 95 cents per $100 that you buy. So as an experiment as well, we went in and we bought a bunch of these to the tune of, they do it in increments of $300. So if you spend $300, you don't pay any fees. So I think we got $600, $900 worth of cards. And then my wife just uses these when she goes to the supermarket, or if we're getting gas, or, if we want to reload the Amazon account. Again, same thing, I get 5x points on these as well. So that you can see this starts to add up, right? And then you get into something called two-player mode. So my wife has a business as well. So we said, man, this works pretty good. How about I refer you to your own Chase business card, which I did. She got her card, 75,000 points. I got my referral bonus. And then the same thing, she starts buying, in her case, she was buying Visa gift cards and using that Visa gift card as part of her business. So now we're starting to rack stuff up. So we're on a path right now in a 12-month period to probably get somewhere in the tune of 500,000 points that could be used either a cash back, we can get $5,000 cash back, or we can apply that towards travel and at least increase it by 25%, maybe even more on top of that. So this is a drastic departure to how I've been managing my money and doing stuff for a while. But as I start to get in this and I start to use this, I'm thinking, man, this is fantastic. I'm spending this money anyway. I might as well start doing a little bit of hacking with it. So again, I caution you, if this is interesting to you, please, please, please only do this if you can pay off that bill every month. So what I do is I have all these different cards, they're spread out all over the place. They're in my Apple Wallet, but I have one central bank account. I use an account called Wealthfront, where I basically dump all my money, and then I'm just on auto pay out of those particular things. So it works pretty well for me. If you're concerned about credit scores, I've been doing this for a little while. My credit score, it goes up and down a few points here and there, but I have rock solid credit, so it hasn't been an issue for me. There's probably other questions you may have about this particular strategy, like maybe how do I manage my bookkeeping, and that's a good point. So if you watch my videos on Novo, right, what do I do with every transaction? I go in and every transaction I had at Lowe's, I would go in, I would document, I would add the receipt. So now what I do is I reimburse myself. So I take, let's say I buy a $250 gift card from Lowe's. I go ahead and I debit that from, I essentially I can pay off my credit card with that. So let's say I move $250 from Novo over to pay off that $250 credit card I just bought with my Chase card. Then as I spend down that gift card, I'm just adding the receipts to that one transaction in Novo. So I have a solid record of where did I spend that $250. So bookkeeping wise, it's probably a few more extra steps in there than what I was doing previously. But if I'm going to get a couple $1,000s worth of benefits out of it, it's no big issue, no big deal for me. So anyway, this is a little departure from the normal videos that I talk about, but I've been pretty excited about the possibilities of this and what it's leading me to. And I'm diving deep down into some of these groups that talk about travel hacking and how you use this. The big thing is just churning, right? So you're going to constantly get new cards and new cards and new cards as you go through these cycles of getting the sign-up bonuses and then moving to the next card and doing that two-player where if you can do two-player, you can do it single, but if your wife can do something, then you can do something. So you're kind of slowly spreading it out, so you're getting multiple cards throughout the year. The value can add up pretty quick, especially if you're spending a lot of money in your business. So something to think about. If you have any questions or comments on this video, go ahead and drop them down below. Let me know. If you're like, man, you're crazy, go ahead, leave them down below. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks. Bye.